I'm Rudy Buttignol, and I'm the President and CEO of the Knowledge Network and newly President of BBC Kids Channel. Well, I think the biggest strength in the documentary, the creative documentary, that's sometimes called the point of view documentary or the one of, I prefer creative documentary. What people buy into is the artist's vision. That's what they want to buy. That's what they want to see. It's not the facts and the figures that they can get elsewhere. They're buying into the creative interpretation of the world through a particular artist's eyes. And so I think that's what always is going to be the most valuable element in a documentary is the artist behind it, the mind, the thinking, the critical analysis. Well, interactive documentaries is really interesting because I haven't really seen any that I've been particularly interested in because I don't want to interact with the documentary. If I want to, I'd rather interact with aircanada.ca and book my flight and pick my ticket. Do I want to interact with that storytelling in that way? I don't, but that's me. Maybe it's my particular age or inclination. But I see that in the interactive world, there's a possibility to extend that audience for that documentary, and whether it's for people to interact by donating to it, interact by sharing it, interact by communicating with the makers of it, or getting engaged with the subject matter. There's just an infinite ways that maybe interactive is not in the storytelling element, but in the engagement and in the redistribution of those ideas embodied in the documentary. I think the possibilities are infinite. We're just at the real experimental stage, and at our network, I've said to our interactive people, let's experiment. And if it doesn't work, we'll do something else. But let's experiment, because nobody really knows what's working. So let's keep trying. Technology is especially media technology is very addictive. And it's easy to become a gadget freak, but all you have to do is look back in your drawer and see how many models of cell phone you have, how many computer models you have, how many video games. I think the 8-track stereo is a good example. We often rush into the tool and figure out what we can do with it, as opposed to saying, geez, I need to make a certain connection with somebody. What's the best tool for that? And digital just opens up a great period of experimentation. I think people have to experiment.